Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. So it's our usual Friday night live. I know I'm a little bit late, so I do apologize for that. I've literally walked to the house, had a quick wash my hands, wash my face, and straight onto the live stream. So if I look a little bit scruffy, that's the reason why. But it's a good reason that I was out. So we took a night of campaigning um, because there was an elderly lady in our local community that that she's been moved from her current flats to a new flat by the council, and they'd moved some of her stuff over, and then they'd taken the keys of her old flat, and they said they were going to throw everything else that was in the old flat away, and literally all her clothes, all her possessions, everything. They were just about to take it. So we fought with the council to get her keys back to her old flat, and we've got hold of them for a few more days. And we just swooped down there, four or five of us, and just went and picked up as much stuff as we can, and just helped to move over and got her curtains up and everything in a new place, and just to make it a little bit more suitable for her. So that's why I'm a little bit late. So I've just literally come straight back in. Yeah, and if I'm a little bit tired, that's why. So hope everyone's well. Hope you're all good. Hope life's treating you well. The weather's been absolutely freezing this last week. I think we hit a low of -5 over here. I don't know what the weather's like where you guys are, but we're in the forecast for some more nasty weather over the next couple of days. We're supposed to be getting hailstones and gale force winds in the next couple of days. So it's going to be a tricky weekend for gardening. Yeah, it's gonna be quite a harsh time for gardening at the moment. So if you've got tender plants, make sure you're covering them up. Make sure you're taking those precautions over those items. We've got quite a lot of my chilies have come up. Um, a lot of my chilies have come up except my naga. That's the only one that I'm worried about so far. So I don't know if you know what's happened with my naga. I lost all my naga seeds. Managed to get one half a naga that I found in one of the seed containers. So we've planted those, but the seeds haven't come up yet. So yeah, those haven't come up yet, and they're the ones that are worrying me. So we've got a couple of people that are popping in. We've got 8 people, 2 likes, and a couple of comments. So Ben, how are you doing, mate? Thanks very much for coming in. Graham, how are you doing, mate? Thanks very much for coming in. Don't say bad weather. I'll be grafting. Yeah, it's supposed to be really nasty weather over the next couple of days. Yeah, it's supposed to be really nasty winds and hailstones apparently, because it's been freezing. It's been absolutely freezing. It's been very frosty up here in Newcastle. Julie, how are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. Moz, the big man Morris, how are you doing, mate? Thanks very much for coming in. Moz, you'll be loving it. You'll probably be wanting to go for a swim in that icy water. um, Toss Stones joining us all the way from New Zealand. How are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. Thank you very much. There we go. Make things a little bit easier. Give my eyes a little bit of a easier time. So yeah, I mean, I can't believe the state. This old lady that she was in. Literally, the council had taken the keys off her and all her possessions. Like all her clothes, everything that she owned. They were just going to skip it. And so we fought with the council to get the keys back, and then we just moved everything across for her. And I was like, I'm a little bit emotional by it actually, because it just reminded me of how how we grew up. And yeah, it's it's a tricky one. It's getting a bit warm for swimming now. We got -8 the other night. -8. Wow, it was -5, and I thought that was freezing cold. Um, uh, Graham saying hit the like button. Andrew Fishman. Andrew, how are you doing? I hope you're keeping well. Where's the co-pilot tonight? Or is it gonna? How's it going, mate? He's downstairs. I think they're wanting to do a Star Wars marathon. So Cleve's been talking about doing a Star Wars marathon for the last few days. So they've just finished all of the Marvel ones. They went all the way from Iron Man all the way through to Endgame. I think the last one is. So they've done all of them, and now he wants to do a Star Wars marathon. So yeah, the ground's absolutely frozen. Absolutely frozen. I managed to get a couple of hours of shifting logs earlier on. My wife spotted some tree surgeons outside my office clearing clearing a tree on the side of the road. So she went up to them and said, "All right." She went and asked them, "Look, can I have the logs?" Oh, my wife went and asked for the logs, and then they said, "Okay, fine, we'll leave them here by the roadside. Just pick them up when we're gone." And whenever someone's doing something like that, you've got to really be on that. Get those logs straight away before they disappear. So straight after Friday prayers, well, no, actually, I went to Friday prayers and my wife went and got the logs. But the good thing is, normally when I ask tree surgeons to cut, save me logs, they'll leave them in massive, massive chunks, and you're like wrestling to get them into the car or into the trailer. But they'd cut them up, because my wife asked, they'd cut them up into like 2-foot lengths, and they're only like little pieces. But yeah, they'd cut them up really nice for her and stacked them perfectly for her to just go and pick up and put them in the car. It's like, oh, look at the difference. How's the chickens? Mine have all started laying again. Oh, fantastic. Mine haven't started laying yet. Yeah, mine haven't started laying yet. There's a couple of roosters that we've got to get rid of, because I think we've got 4 roosters now, 3 young uns, so we've got to get rid of those young uns. But where do you buy your food from? And have you seen the price of food at the moment? Because I did a food order today. I ordered 6 bags, so 3 bags of Lay's pellet and 3 bags of mixed corn, and it was like £87 for 6 bags of chicken feed, and I couldn't believe how expensive that was. I remember when I first started keeping chickens, right? I used to do that same order, so 3 bags of each, and the free delivery limit was £50, and you'd have to order extra things just to try and get yourself over that limit. So you'd order 7 bags and a bag of grit or something just to get yourself over that order limit. And now it's like more than double the price. It's absolutely ridiculous. Loved it growing up, and my son loves it. My broad bean is sad. Why is it sad? Don't worry. I mean, it's going to be the cold that's going to be making them a bit droopy, but once the cold is over, they'll perk up again. I managed to get to the allotment last Sunday for a tidy up and a bit of a digging over. What's the ground like at the minute? I've got 1 broad bean that came up. The garlic still. When did you plant your garlic, Ben? Graham, where'd you get your seed potatoes from? Because I'm after some seed potatoes. We've had a pretty dismal season, a lot of rain, very overcast, little sun, and unseasonably cold, so a lot of mold and fungus. Our season last year was absolutely mental. It was it couldn't make its mind up. 1 minute it was warm, then it was freezing, and then when it should have been hot, it was cold and wet. Yeah, Julie, she's awesome. She's absolutely awesome. And when the clouds clear, it's very hot, so everything boils with all the moisture. Getting greener. How are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. So uh, don't know how you pums deal with this weather. We have this sort of miserable weather all the time, and it's probably the biggest pastime to talk about, or the biggest thing to talk about, is the weather. 950 for a 20 kilo sack here in South Wales, Barry. Um, yeah, it's ridiculous, that, isn't it? I think I paid more than that then today. So, Lay's pets are 950, so mixed corn will be about the same price. So, I'd have saved 30 quid if I was in. Yeah, I would have. Well, not 30 quid, 25 quid if I was in Barry. But I'm really disappointed with the amount of um, with the lack of with the price of it. I'm really should I get my MP involved with 4-year allotment still waiting? Ali, there's a law. It's called the Allotments Act. Do you know, if you can find 4 other people in your locality, and then go to the council and say, look, there's 4 of us or 4 households that want an allotment. We want somewhere to grow. They're supposed to find you land for you to grow on, and that's the Allotment Act. So find what I'd do is, if I was you, is get a few people from that waiting list and start pestering the council, because there's going to be green space that they've got somewhere that they'll be planning on building on, or be planning on selling off. So if you guys can get a little group together and go and say, look, there's land that we want, because under the Allotment Act, if there's 4 of you, I think it's either 4 others or 6. If you go and approach them, you can force them to give you some land. Um, Planting my garlic out in October, Novemberish. Go and have a poke around underneath, and just have a poke around on one bulb and see what's happened. Because if you plant them in October, it was still quite warm, so it should have been. They still should have come up. You'd have definitely expected them to come up by then. I'm going to check my local shop now online. What are you going to check? I missed your comment. The surface ground was frozen last Sunday, but I had my stove blazing to periodically defrost my fingers. I got some gloves. They're not really expensive, but there's some cheapo gloves. They're about 5 quid or 6 quid. I got them off eBay, but they're supposed to be like bike gloves. So they're like made out of some spandex kind of material. And honestly, they're probably the best gloves I've ever had. You go out, you come back in, and your hands are still, you can feel your fingers when you come back in. Normally, when you wear gloves and you go out and you come back in, and your hands are still stiff and your joints are hurting. But these gloves, I don't know, they're really cheap, but they're really doing the job. Noor Ali, walaikum assalam. How are you doing? Hope you're keeping well. They're selling up now. They're bank. See, that a lot of councils are going to be like that. So, but you can force them under the Allotment Act to find you some land for you guys to grow on. But you need to find a few people to work with. I live under St Helens Council in East Merseyside, and there's a waiting list of over 700 people. We've been told. Get a few people. If you can get in touch with a few people, you can force the count. The thing is, you're on a waiting list probably for one allotment, maybe, or a group of allotments run by one group. But if you can get a list of people, or group of people, and approach the council direct and say, look, under the Allotment Act, you have to find us somewhere to grow, they'll have land in their back pockets that they're just not willing to share at the moment, and you can force them to do something. Um, so I was 390th and now I'm 10th. It's that last little bit you've got to go. So well done. I kept ringing the council every month to ask where I was on the waiting list, and back in finally got my plot. So 5 minutes walk away from home, that's nice. With it being right outside your house, yeah, that's awesome. So fresh capsicum is so you toss say that you'd harvested some capsicums. Di, how are you doing? Hope you're keeping well. Thank you very much for coming in. All better now. Had a trip to the hospital, steroids, anti-inflammatories, and I'm a lot better. I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're feeling better, and I hope it doesn't last any. The after effects don't last very long. Got my seed spuds on eBay direct from Garden Centre. Got a kilo of pink fir apple for £3. Send us a link from where you got them from, because they used to like 2.5 kilo bags in Wilco's, and I need to get looking. So I have a tree to reduce from some friends who are nowhere as big as your sycamore, but I reduced it about 5 years ago. So you're gonna be like a ballerina up in the tree again. So our council keep pressing the council until you get your space. Our council had to make some redundancies within itself that slowed everything down in relation to getting a plot sorted. A lot of councils are going to be suffering this year. A lot of councils, especially northern councils, a lot of funding's being cut massively. Stallion fish keeping. I hope you keep it. I hope you're keeping well. KO family, nice to see you. They're going to start charging much more for allotments now due to council law and money. Different councils are trying different things. Our council's trying to charge you for using the local parks. So if you want to go to the local park, then if you want to park your car there, then they're going to charge you. They want to charge you for using the car park. Especially at a time like this, if you've got someone who's struggling to walk or low mobility, you're going to need to take a car there. Someone who might not fully qualify for a disabled badge, but someone who's still got struggles. You're gonna need that access there. At the time when we should be encouraging people to go outside and using green space, we shouldn't be discouraging people. And that's one of the things that our council's trying to do, is bring in these parking charges. We have a chairman, treasurer, and a secretary managing our council-owned allotment, and we got a seed potatoes today. I miss Wilco's. That's right. See, most people who grew or grow on allotments, they used Wilco's. Excuse me. I really miss Wilco's. I really miss it. That's where I'd go for pretty much all my gardening stuff. So seeds, especially this time of year, I'd be loving going for the seed potatoes. But yeah, I need to. There needs to be somewhere to replace it. I don't know if we're ever going to find somewhere. Going to a flower bed this year just for something different, because I think when you do the same, what flowers are you thinking of doing? If you go to the range, I think you told me about the range before, and someone even told me where it was, but I've forgotten. All right, nice one, Graham. Thanks. Appreciate it, big man. My 11 point, so it's 11 by 5, 11 and a half by 11 and a half. I recently double it in size, and the neighbouring plot hole left now paying 168, which includes the water. £168 a year. £168 a year. Are you making a lot of your own compost? Um, I heard a lady in came. Most councils, I thought a lot of allotments are still around 28, 30, you know, about 30, 40 quid. But I've seen on a few forums that quite a few allotments are charging a lot more money recently. Um, Next, they'll be charging you for the air you breathe. I think there is a air tax as well. Bobby, how are you doing? I hope you're keeping well. I know the range boat Wilco's. Okay, I didn't know range boat Wilco's. I didn't know that. I thought it completely collapsed. Um, Rangers and Hunslet. Okay. Uh, so all your own compost. So that's going to be the biggest saving that you're making, because if you're making all your own compost, for if you're growing in pots, or if you're adding it to your beds, that's where the massive that's probably one of the biggest costs. Apart from seeds, compost is the biggest cost, and if you can make a big chunk of that yourself, you'll save an absolute ton. Um, Daffodils, tulips, nothing too fancy. I'm still going to grow veg, but switch it up a bit. If you get some lilies in, you'll never be disappointed with lilies. Um, I love growing lilies. The only Nowadays you get more and more lily beetles. Um, they're a lot more common nowadays, but I love growing lilies. They're such a happy flower, and such a big flower, and so fragrant as well. But that's one of my favorite ones. Got this massive stargazer lily, and it's absolutely amazing. I think we've had it for about 6 years, 6 or 7 years. We planted it in our old chimney pots, so the ones that were on our roof, and they just, yeah. So every year they just pop up. Um, yeah, every year they just pop up, and they never disappoint. So the range, okay. So I need to find out where range is. Okay. Graham says it's in Hunslet, so I need to go find this one. It did collapse. They bought out only by name. Okay, I'm with you. The range also sent organic compost, 50 litres, 4 for £10. So 200 litres for £10. That's expensive, man. Sajid, assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum assalam. How long left? About 20 minutes. Normally we start at 8 o'clock. Today I was a little bit late because we were helping a local old lady move and get set up. So, but yeah, normally finish about 9ish. Got two lovely lilies, mate. Short lives, but nice plants. Yeah, they don't last long. That's a problem. Have you looked at tree lilies or day lilies? Day lilies are supposed to be quite good as well. Um, Poundland's good here. Bought my stuff from there last year. Seeds and herbs. See, Poundland's good for seeds. The only problem with Poundland with seeds is that you don't get loads in the packet. See, I still prefer Premier Seeds for seeds. Um, so was it your birthday last Saturday? I can't remember. Was it last Saturday? Last Friday it was, not last Saturday. Um, I mean, um, January is packed with birthdays for us. So my wife, my son, my mum, uh, my nephew, my brother. So because I'm right in the middle, we don't. So we do something on my son's birthday or on my mum's birthday. But this year we did. I took my. We did a big deal on my wife's birthday. So we don't really do anything for me. I started my early spring seeds 4 days ago. I'm eager to sow sprout. See some sprouts. What did you plant? Keto family. Um, see, most of our family's in January. So yeah, I think I got a good few of them. Um, my my son, my wife, me, my brother, my mum, my nephew. That's six. I think my wife might have a niece in January as well. So we're filling up the month slowly. I think January is going to be our month. Um, so far, the seeds that we've got started, um, we've got our chilies planted, we've got aubergines, my mum's planted a few tomatoes as well. Um, there's, I think, Ali Joe's tomato seeds that you sent, those purple heartthrobs, she's sold them already. What else have we got? Excuse me. Um, the seed that's worrying the most is my naga's not germinated yet, and normally they're up by now. Um, I need to hijack my wife's shoe cupboard again and get my grow light switched on. I've sown sweet peppers, peas, broad beans. I'm not getting the time outside. I wish I could get some time outside because I want to get some uh, peas sown. I've lost all my broad bean seeds, so I need to get some more broad beans ordered. Um, Dailies are very easy to grow, and the flowers are edible, beautiful range of colours. There's a park. Where is it? I think it might be Golden Acre Park. That they've got like one section of Golden Acre Park in Leeds where they've got so many daylilies. It's like the biggest daylily place in Yorkshire. Or but they've got so many different varieties, so many different colours. It just looks amazing. I've started my bottle gourds, chilies, eggplants on 6th of January and they've sprouted. See, it's still a bit early for bottle gourds for me. Mine won't go in until early part of March. They need a long season, but the problem is they will get really, really leggy inside your house. That's the big problem. And the Ailsa Craig have sprouted fantastic. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. My onions are well up and away. So pretty soon um, we'll start getting those germinated, transplanted. Sorry. Um, I'm gonna do an extension of my greenhouse, but I'm only gonna use it for my koi fry propagating plants. What's the best natural pesticide to use? Nemo's pretty good, but I wouldn't use that around fish. Do you know, if it gets in the water, because the way neem oil works, do you know, if you're using it on plants in an indoor space, I wouldn't use it outside either. The way it works is it uses the chemical that's inside it that's active is called azadirachtin, and that acts almost like a contraceptive, so it stops the breeding cycle of the aphids, so they don't continue to breed. So just be careful with that if you're using it outside. I'm going to do an extension. I've read that one. One thing I really enjoyed growing last year is purslane. I've got a propagator, but the seeds haven't germinated yet, so it's just one that's worrying me. Mimi Susu, how are you doing? Hope you're keeping well. I just picked my huge cabbage. It was great tasting. Oh, fantastic. Infinity, the rural rider. How are you doing, mate? I've got my Jimmy Nardello to germinate. As yet, still waiting on my Scotch bonnet, green finger, and Naga to come up. Of course, they're in my grow cabinet. See, yeah, we had a big issue with our Naga seeds over here. I managed to find one Naga and plant the seeds, but so far I'm not getting any plants, so I'm just getting a bit worried. And it's been nearly 3 weeks. Well, has it? It's been just over 2 weeks, so it's worrying me a little bit. So interesting. I planted some broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, and kale. So purslane, I think they call it lamb's quarter as well. It's got a bit more of a common name. Yeah, I think. But yeah, it's just like a little leafy veg that you can add to salads. I've been using Temu for. What is Temu like? Because I see so many adverts for it, and you know, I didn't know anything about it, so I downloaded it after seeing all these adverts, and then they told me I'm going to get loads of things free, and then it made you go through all this list and pick stuff, and then it got to the end and said, "Oh, you have to pay for X amount, or you have to buy something to get everything else free," and it just didn't seem believable. And I was like, "Okay, I don't know what I'm doing here," so I just left it. Did anyone else has anyone else used that Temu thing and seen that and managed to get all the free items that they promise you? I said I'll send you some Bangladesh. Oh yes, man. You'll save me. How can you tell if your chili or wondering has been successful? The plant will still be green. It won't have dried out. If it's dried out and turned into straw, obviously it's dead. But if it's still green, it looks lush. In a couple of as the weather starts getting a bit warmer and it starts getting a little bit more light, you'll start seeing buds popping and new leaves popping. Normally that happens naturally in about March time, sometimes February, depending on how warm your house is and how much light the plant's getting. Bit of a catch, mate. They give you a promo, but you have to spend. Okay, there you go. I actually had the same issue with Temu like a few days ago. Same free items. See, I thought it was a bit of a scam, so I thought, okay, I'm not going to do this. Okay, so just a long wait. I don't think my Naga chili plants produce. I had them mixed with Scotch bonnets. I still have Scotch bonnets producing on the plant. You've done well if your Scotch bonnets are still producing. Did you plant your Nagas nice and early? And if they're still alive, they might come back to life next year or this year and give you a bumper crop this year. I've just bought some cheap grow lights off eBay for £20. Comes with a wall bracket. And see, those cheap grow lights, especially now with LED, they're just as good. Excuse me, I just feel like I'm so tired. Never heard of Temu. 2 weeks of my Temu delivery maximum. So you don't know if you're under. Depends on how hot you've had it. Because if it's been warm, then the plant should have been, continuously leafing and putting out buds all the way through. But the problem is, if you had heating that's gone on, warmed up, and then gone off again, that can mess with it. I never leave lights on when there's not there to get though. For someone always worry about fires. I always use power surge extension. So power surge extension, because you can buy some really good bulbs. The LED light bulbs that fit into a normal fitting. So if you've got like a table lamp or something, just buy one of these quite fancy LED bulbs. They're about 15 quid, but they're grow lights, and use that. That really makes a massive difference. Should I cut my Naga plants back? It depends on how big they are. If they're big, bushy, and they've got lots of spindly branches, then yeah, cut them back. But just like you do with your tree, trim them back, open to a bud where you're going to get a new growth point from. Try and preserve a good few V shapes on them, because that's where the chilies are going to grow from and bud from. Where'd you guys get your pot from sowing potatoes? Tony from Simplified Gardening normally puts on some kind of promo code for Oaklands. Excuse me. He puts for Oakland's garden centre, and you can get like 10 for 30 quid or something. It works. Yeah, it worked out quite good last time when I bought them. He'll put on like a discount code every now and then, but a similar size bucket from pretty much anywhere. You can get those buckets. Do you know those flexi tubs? They'll be pretty useful. So it'll cut off the mains without causing it to start firing. Overheating issues or broken. Okay, that's clever. And will protect your other items. It will then just knock the. Okay, that's pretty good. Derek, how are you doing? Hope you're keeping well. See, there's a couple of people who used to come into this chat that use those LED light bulbs really well. Just screwing light fixings straight into your normal standard fitting, either screw or bayonet fitting, and they do really good. So the Naga plants are really tall and leggy. So I'd give that a trim back then. So Graham got a 5 meter grow light on a tape for less than £15. 15. Okay. So Oakland's have a discount anyway. So that could be this. Excuse me, I'm tired. I'm really tired. So Oakland's have a discount. Anyway, bro. Okay. See, at the moment, I'm working flat out with work. I'm out leafleting every weekend, and when I get a spare minute, I'm trying to sort wood out for the fire. But yeah, I want some time in the garden soon, though. Because any spare time that I'm getting, I'm out leafleting, and in a couple of weeks, I'm going to start door knocking, and that's going to take even more time. I want to win this year, cause some trouble for the council from inside. That's the plan. Yeah, I think get in and cause some trouble from inside. Be a bit rowdy. One of the local elections, I think they're the 2nd of May. It's normally the first Thursday in May. So let's have a quick gander. Yeah, so it's going to be the 2nd of May. So that's going to be interesting. See, I've seen some cracking lights on Amazon. There's like 4 arms and 3 Yeah, I've seen that one with 4 arms. It's like a clip and then it fans out in different ways. I've seen that, but it looks quite small for what it is because the light's about that. It's about 2 inches light section, isn't it? I'm not sure how much light that actually gives out. Whether it's just one light for one plant, if it's designed to work like that. Is he go on? Yeah, Graham. I'm just going to cause some trouble. I hope you get in there, shake the grounds of Leeds. I think I'll just cause some trouble when I get in. So I'm canvassing. I'm in Leeds, Sajid. So I'm using that system for beta fish breed. Oh, do you? How many? Betas have you got? Because they're amazing. Those. Do you know that they look absolutely amazing. Do you know when I first started keeping fish, I bought one, right? I thought that, you know, that they look amazing. And then, do you know what I did? I didn't know much about fish at the time, and I stuck them in with some tiger barbs. So my pretty blue better was swimming around, and then yeah, the tiger barbs were swimming up behind it and just pecking at everything. So within a few days, they'd ripped his nice fins and flowy fins and ripped them all apart, which was a bit disappointing. But I didn't know anything about them at the time, so I did that. So I'm gonna be starting back up this year. I've bought all the systems, tanks, lights. Just need to get fish. It's easy enough. So Ali, like guppies are awesome. Guppies are brilliant, and they breed so easily as well. So you'll have loads. And very soon you'll have loads. The grow lights with arms are about 12-inch long. Okay. See the ones that I see on the pictures, right? They're quite long, but the light section is about that big, and it just looks kind of weird. Um, Jamil Muhammad wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah joining us from New Zealand. We've got a couple of people now from New Zealand. Um, So some Bikino and Bird's Eye chilies in the propagator at the moment, soon to go on my full spectrum fluorescent 4-tube unit. Now look at this guy. Now he's talking the business. LED ones that better than the fluorescent ones. I wouldn't say they're better. The big difference is the electricity bill. Because if you've got full spectrum fluorescent tubes, the bigger difference is going to be the amount of electricity that they keep consuming. Um, yeah, so I wouldn't say they're better. I've got some. My wife got some fluorescent tube bulbs from work. She works at. She used to work at Kirkshill Farm, and another house got raided for growing cannabis, and the farm got all the leftovers. So they literally brought in like bags full of these light fittings and light things. So my wife brought a couple of those home. I don't know where I'm going to fit them. So lemon drop is very productive outdoors, perfect for me. T5s are expensive on electric. That's why I'm removing my lid on tank and go for full spectrum lights and overhead. Yeah, T5s. That's what. See, tube lights. They suck a lot of juice. So that's the biggest difference that your LEDs are going to make for you. The other thing is, I don't think they're. I think the tube lights are a lot warmer as well. In terms of temperature, not in terms of light. So the temperature is a lot warmer, so the room stays a lot warmer. So if you've got them in a grow room, they'll be a lot warmer inside there. Whereas the LEDs don't heat up as much compared to the tube lights. They still do heat up, but not as much. Um, so yeah. So what are everyone's plans for this weekend? What do you want to do this weekend? Provided, let's have a quick check of the weather forecast where I am, because it's going to be quite miserable. Yeah, there we go. Saturday it's going to be raining and windy, and then Sunday it's going to be gale force winds, 50-mile-an-hour winds with a lot of rain. At least it's not going to be as cold. So from tomorrow it's going to start warming up, and then Sunday it's going to peak at 13 degrees apparently. That'll be interesting. Um, so my LED lights use 4p electricity. That's wicked. The weather isn't great this weekend, unfortunately. The thing is, I'm supposed to have a stall. So we've done this information stall. We're going to hold one outside Morrison's on Sunday. Right. So I'm taking my gazebo out. I think we're going to be going flying with this gazebo in these gale force winds. Chopping wood, -7, t-shirt weather. Derek, hardcore. Put some bulbs down and hopefully have a better mindset on this year growing. Stallion fish keeping. Whereabouts here? No, I haven't put a reading in for 12 months. I've had yesterday and today off as annual leave, so I spent time on the allotment with big flask of coffee and lots of apple tree pruning. Um, I need to, yeah, I think I need to get around to my apple tree pruning. See, I've got this plum tree. It's grown huge, and I keep threatening this plum tree that I'm going to cut it down. But my son likes to climb it, so I think it's just going to stay where it is. Um, Oakland's Garden Centre. It is Oakland's Garden Centre. There should be a link to their actual website. Um, so Salford. Okay, so you're same, so northish, as north as I am anyway. Last year was miserable, mate. The weather last year was horrible. It caused a lot of problems for a lot of people last year. Last year really put a dampener on me as well. Uh, so I was supposed to be out on the paddleboard this Sunday, but now cancelled due to the wind. So I think I didn't want to cancel my stall, but I think it might be a bit of a washout. We're supposed to be litter picking on Sunday. Litter picking, doing this information stall. We're gonna go hardcore. I think we'll still do the litter pick in the wind, get battered by it, and then turn around and come home. This weekend, Sarah, how are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. For me, it's going to be rainy, weird for this time of year, but probably some casual hanging out at home with the family. Sladges, where are you? That you got enough snow to go sledging. I'm at NEC until Sunday night, collecting 30 bags of goat manure on my way. Graham, you've been squirreling away all of this sort of stuff for a while. Alish Checker, walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you doing? Hope you're keeping well. I don't think I've seen you for a while. Hope everything's good with you. Hope life's treating you very good. Um, Possibly picking a little one up from Leeds up in the uni in the morning. Whereabouts? Whereabouts here? You'll be chasing the litter in there. I think the summer will be this year. Also has a compost bin. See, I don't know. I hope it's better than last year. I really hope it's better than last year. Last year was terrible, so I think we're in for a good one. But the new compost bin's not coming on. I haven't had a chance to work on it, so hopefully, when I get some time on it, I need a couple of days run on it, so I can actually spend some time putting the putting the whole structure together. Because I want to make a nice compost pallet bin. So two, I'm not gonna have three bays. I'll just have two bays like I normally do. But I want a roof on it and an area to store stuff and sit under as well next to it. I've got underneath the treehouse to sit under. I want to turn that into a bit more of a man cave, a bit more of a shed. Um, but yeah, so my friend used to go to the bird auction. Wasn't my thing, but you guys used to set. Uh, guy used to sell fresh eggs. So when you're talking about that bird auction, they used to have one in Selby that I used to like going to, but they've stopped doing it for the last few years. Yeah, last couple of years they've stopped it, and since COVID. But we used to go up and just buy random chicks and bring them home, and then and see what they turned into. But by doing that, I ended up with uh, loads of roosters one time, but a crested cream leg bar as well. That was good. Sadly, that I hardly got any khudu last year. Same here. Same here. I probably got about 10 last year, compared to a normal year where I'd get upwards of 30, 40, something like that. Last year was absolutely terrible. Looking for freebies. You know my thing. You know my thing. Right, guys, we're past 9 o'clock, so I'm going to call it a night here. And you can see me yawning all the way through, so I am tired. Um, and I'll put a TikTok on. So if anyone knows my TikTok videos, you can have a look at them, of what I've been up to just before I got here. So fixing that old lady's house and helping her move. But yeah, I am a little bit tired, so I'm going to call it a night here. So thanks everyone for coming in and hanging out. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Stay safe in this miserable weather, and I'll see you again soon. Assalamu alaikum.